Hey everybody, ChaoticMeatball here and welcome back to another Pokemon Challenge video. I normally don't tackle the same generation back to back unless it's the 386 challenge, but I figured seeing the final release straight after the beta of Diamond & Pearl would be interesting to some of you guys, and I know we love Professor Oak's challenges here, so let's get into it. I haven't explained the rules for these videos in quite a while, so I may as well re-explain for those that may be new to the channel since they're pretty simple. Rule 1, you must catch and evolve every available Pokemon there is before every gym badge. Rule 2, no glitches. And Rule 3, no trading with other games. Easy, right? Well, let's find out as I complete Professor Oak's challenge in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I'll be using Diamond version as Johnstone used Pearl version for his run, so that you can compare our runs and see what the best strats are for both games. Lastly, before we begin, I highly suggest following me over on my Twitch account, since I'm currently working on the Black 2 and White 2 Professor Oak's challenge. Or if you're watching in a year, I'm probably doing something else. Either way, you should head on over there. With that, let's get down to business. Gotta love how Professor Rowan taunts us with a Munchlax right at the beginning of the game. And I'm sure you know, if you know anything about Professor Oak's challenges, you'll know that the Sinnoh games are pretty notorious for two things: the honey trees and the post-game. We'll get to that in a bit, but for now, we've got a relatively straightforward section without too many hiccups. So the first thing I needed to do was choose my starter. Both Chimchar and Piplup evolve into their last stage at level 36, while Turtwig gets to its last stage at level 32, so that's an easy choice. I ran through Route 201, Sand Gem Town, and Route 202 since there's no reason to pick up Pokemon that are lower level than in other areas, so after getting the Poketch in Jubilife City, I went north to start picking up Pokemon. Those being Budew, Shinx, Bidoof, and Starly on Route 204, and straight north of the route is the Ravaged Path, where I'm able to capture a Zubat, Geodude, and Psyduck, a 2% encounter this early on. It wasn't too bad though, since I was able to take some time to level up Turtwig while looking for it, finally getting it in about 25 minutes. Jubilife's a pretty good hub for stuff, so after returning I headed west to Route 218, grabbing the old rod in the route gate before fishing up a Magikarp. Finally heading to Route 203 for the first rival battle, and yeah, we wiped the floor with him thanks to Turtwig already having been level 16 before I fought him. With this defeat, I'm able to head over into the Oreburgh Gate, where Turtwig evolved into Grotle at level 18, before heading into the Oreburgh Mine. There's only one new Pokemon here, that being Onix, but I sent Rourke back to his gym before handling the final encounters on Route 207, those being Machop, and later on during the night, Kricketot. I was able to do all of that within the span of around 2 hours, so I headed out and tried my hand at the gym whiteout strategy, where I'd white out to the gym leader after taking out all of his Pokemon aside from one, and this game makes it a lot easier due to him having 3 Pokemon, so you're able to KO 2 of them, but it's still really slow. I found it to be faster for many of the Pokemon to just train in the Oreburgh Mine, since many of them have either super effective attacks like Grotle, Geodude, and Machop, or neutral attacks like Shinx and Zubat. Everything else can be switch trained, like Magikarp, Kricketot, and Abra, or just get high enough level where it doesn't matter that your moves aren't very effective, like Bidoof. Oreburgh Mine is also the best place to train for the section because it has Pokemon ranging from level 6 to level 10, with Onix being plentiful, being a really nice EXP hub. The only painful evolutions of the section are Zubat and Budew, since both of them evolve by friendship. So basically you need to make sure both of them are in your party at all times, leaving the other 4 slots for training segments, since it's better to do that than training one Pokemon at a time. I did try my hand at training on Route 207 for a bit for the Pokemon that needed to be high enough level to withstand attacks from the rock types in the mine, but it was really slow most of the time due to only having Pokemon as high as level 7. With all of this said, I was able to evolve Bidoof into Bibarel at level 15, Magikarp into Gyarados at level 20, Abra into Kadabra at level 16, Kricketot into Kricketune at level 10, Geodude into Graveler at level 25, Grotle into Torterra at level 32, Psyduck into Golduck at level 33, Machop into Machoke at level 28, Starly into Staravia at level 14, Zubat into Golbat at level 22, Shinx into Luxio at level 15, Luxio into Luxray at level 30, Staravia into Staraptor at level 34, Golbat into Crobat at level 23 with Max Happiness, and Budew into Roselia at level 6 with Max Happiness during the day. Overall, I finished this section with a dex total of 29 Pokemon in a time of 26 hours and 8 minutes. Not too bad for a first section, pretty average, but with that I'm able to wipe out Rourke with my Torterra, allowing me to move on to the next section. Now that I can use Rock Smash outside of battle, I'm able to get through the Ravaged Path so I can reach the northern part of Route 204, and eventually Floroma Town. There's nothing much here to do other than getting the Spray Duck, but I'm able to go east to Route 205 to catch myself 2 Weasel, Pachirisu, and Shellos. One of the Weasels will be used for a trade later on, but for now I have to take out Team Galactic to move on. So I took out one in front of Valley Windworks, and the ones in the meadow, and here's where the honey comes in. The man in the Floroma Meadow will sell you honey for 100 Pokédollars apiece, so I grabbed a boatload of them, and it's time for slathering. I made sure to reset at the beginning of the game for a good trainer ID, getting 21584, which means 2 trees out of the 3 I have available to me before Eterna Forest are able to produce Munchlax. I wanted to make sure I had 2 trees since I wanted to ensure that I wouldn't be wasting more in-game time than I needed. After slathering everything, I just waited, and waited, and waited. I actually made sure to set alarms 6 hours apart to ensure I maximized the amount of slathers I could do. Eventually getting Munchlax, yes, Munchlax was first, Aipom, Male Burmy, Female Burmy, Cherubi, Female Combi, and Heracross, all within about the span of 3 days with 4 lathers a day. I'm shocked it only took 36 lathers to get everything, but it is much easier to get the Burmy and Combi than I thought it would be due to being possible to soft reset for gender. I swear, both here and in Platinum I had really good luck with honey trees and I'm pretty happy for it. Last thing before I enter the forest, and that's grabbing the Drifloon in front of the Valley Windworks on Friday. With all that being said, I'm able to enter Eterna Forest where the real secret of the section begins. See, Cheryl here can completely heal your Pokemon after every single battle, so there's no need to go back to the Pokemon Center unless you need to switch out your party for 6 of new Pokemon to level up. This makes Pokemon like Burmy and Combi much easier to evolve, since there's no need to switch train them since you get the full EXP even with Gerald's Chansey on the field. With this, I was able to catch a Silcoon, Wurmple, Baneri, Beautifly, and Murkrow at night, or Misdreavus if you're playing Pearl version. With those caught, it's time for a rush of evolutions, starting with the biggest one, Aipom. At level 32 it learns Double Hit, evolving into Ambipom, but I also have to level it to level 41 so that I could use the pickup ability to get myself both a Dusk Stone and Shiny Stone for the section. Munchlax also has pickup, so I'm able to hoard items for some money, and believe me, we're gonna need a lot of money for later on in this run. The rest of the evolutions were pretty easy, those being Wurmple into Cascoon at level 7 and into Dustox at level 10, Drifloon into Drifblim at level 28, Shellos into Gastrodon at level 30, Female Burmy into Wormadam at level 20, Male Burmy into Mothim at level 20, Combi into Vespiquen at level 21, Weasel into Floatzel at level 26, Cherubi into Cherim at level 25, Munchlax into Snorlax with Max Happiness, and Baneri into Lopunny with Max Happiness. I managed to get both stones during this grind as well, allowing me to evolve Murkrow into Honchkrow with the Dusk Stone, and Roselia into Roserade with the Shiny Stone. Unfortunately, there's still 2 more Pokemon in this section that evolve through Friendship, but there are quite a few level 30 plus evolutions after Eterna Forest, so hopefully that won't be a problem. After finally saying goodbye to Cheryl after leading her around the forest for hours on end, I'm able to finally move on to Eterna City, where I'm able to use that spare Weasel I caught earlier to trade for a Chatot. The good old singing bird in our possession now, there's only 3 more areas I need to go through before I'm done with the section. First of all, in the house next to the Pokemon Center, I'm able to grab the Explorer Kit. I'm sure if you're familiar with Gen 4 that we can find tons of items down there. So I dug around for a bit, finding myself both a Moonstone as well as a Skull Fossil, or Armor Fossil if you're playing Plural version. I'm not exactly ready to revive it just yet, instead I wanted to go east to Route 211 so I could capture Ponyta, Meditite, Chingling, and at night, Hoot Hoot. I can also get into Mount Coronet during this section, with a small room that includes a Cleffa being the last catch for the section. Well, other than walking all the way back to Orberg to revive the Skull Fossil into Cranidos, but yeah, all the captures. Perfect, now it's time to level everything else up. Unfortunately though, we have both a level 37 and a level 40 evolution. But they aren't too terrible thanks to the grinding of Mount Coronet. Pokemon in there are able to range from around level 14 to 15 rather than the 12 to 14 that are available outside. The only rock type in there is Geodude, so Ponyta doesn't have that much of a problem. Meditite has plenty of moves to take care of anything in there. Granados has an amazing attack stat and quite a few moves to use, so there's no problem there. And Hoot Hoot is a low enough level of an evolution to just grind up on Route to 11 and avoid Geodude entirely. With that, I'm able to evolve Hoot Hoot into Noctowl at level 20, Granados into Rampardos at level 30, Meditite into Medicham at level 37, Ponyta into Rapidash at level 40, and our friendship evolutions with Chingling into Chimecho with max happiness at night, and Cleffa into Clefairy with max happiness, and into Clefable with the Moonstone. With that, I've got a total of 72 Pokemon in a time of 58 hours and 42 minutes, which is everything I need to fight and obliterate Gardenia. With that badge in tow, I'm able to use Cut outside of battle, so instead of going straight for the Galactic Building, I actually went back into the Eterna Forest so I could travel into the Old Chateau, where I can capture myself a Ghastly, leading me to get the bike and heading south to Route 206. I couldn't get to the grass until getting off the road, evolving Ghastly into Haunter at level 25 while clearing out the trainers on the cycling road. The grass here has Bronzor as well as a Stunky only in Diamond, looping me back over to Route 207. I can head across Mount Coronet now over to Route 208, but there's nothing here either, so Hearthome City is my next destination, where I'm able to get an egg from a hiker near the gate towards Route 209. There's only one Pokemon over here as well, that being Mime Jr. But there are a few things I can do on this route, such as grabbing the Old Rod on the pier here, opening up 3 new encounters, those being Goldeen here on Route 209, Barboach in Mount Coronet, and Finneon on the south side of Route 205. Heading back to the path of progression, the other thing on this route is clearing out the Lost Tower and getting the Oval Stone for Happiny, as well as the HM for Strength on the top floor, but we won't be able to use that until we get the gym badge from Byron. Just to the east here in Salacion Town are the ruins where I can find myself an Unknown. I only needed 1 letter to get the dex entry, but I made sure to get a few since this will be helpful coming up very shortly. With that, the 2 routes between Salacion and Veilstone have absolutely nothing new, so I fought all of the trainers, evolving Bronzor into Bronzong at level 33, and went straight into Veilstone, heading south of the city to Route 214 where I can capture myself a Girafarig, and in the Ruined Maniac's Cave on the same route, I'm able to get Hippopotas. The rate of Hippopotas appearing is increased for each letter of Unknown obtained, so getting around 5 or 6 of them is plenty enough to make it an easy enough encounter to capture. Continuing on and slaughtering trainers leads me through the Valor Lakefront and Great Lake Hotel, right on into Route 213 where I'm able to grab 2 Remoraid with the Good Rod as well as a Wingull from the grass, leaving just 2 more areas for this section. I landed in Pastoria City, which is the home of the Great Marsh. And fortunately, since this game actually functions unlike the beta, I managed to catch everything in 2 safari trips, like Wooper, Marill, Carnivine, and the 1% Azurill, with the last 2 Pokemon being Pokemon I have to look for through the binoculars, hatching the egg into Happiny before finally finding both of them, those being Skorupi and Krogunk. Lastly, west of Pastoria and Route 212 is the Trophy Garden, but while going through Route 212, Barboach evolved into Whiscash at level 30, as well as Happiny into Chansey while holding the Oval Stone. I also made sure to give it the 9 calcium and 1 zinc that I had purchased earlier to get a decent boost in friendship as I was going towards the Trophy Garden, evolving Mime Jr. into Mr. Mime by learning Mimic right before capturing both a Pikachu and a Pichu, eliminating the need for a friendship evolution for the section. About time, I suppose. And here we go. I've caught everything in the section so far, so it's time for just grinding. I've been using Barboach and Skorupi for most of the trainer battles throughout the section. However, I found Route 214 to be my route of choice for grinding. Since I got the VS Seeker from Dawn in this section, complete with her not walking through the trees like she did in my last video, there's 2 collector trainers on this route that provide some nice EXP, one having 3 Ponyta and the other having 3 Roselia. These produce a really solid chunk of EXP per battle, as the one with 3 Ponyta actually yields over 2,000 EXP, as well as plenty of money. This money's helpful in buying vitamins from the Veilstone department store, making friendship evolutions much easier to do from now on. Last thing before grinding, I went back into the Sinnoh Underground, managing to find a Thunderstone within about 15 minutes to evolve Pikachu into Raichu, leaving just grinding on the trainers that I mentioned earlier. Evolving Meryl into Azumarill at level 18, Chansey into Blissey at level 19 with Max Happiness, Stunky into Skuntank at level 34, Goldeen into Seaking at level 33, Finneon into Luminion at level 31, Hippopotas into Hippowdon at level 34, Wingull into Pelipper at level 25, Remoraid into Octillery at level 25, and Croagunk into Toxicroak at level 37, and Scroopy into Drapion at level 40. That's it for this section, clocking in at 75 hours and 24 minutes and 110 Pokemon in the Dex, or 108 if you're playing Pearl version. Not bad. We're actually only 40 Pokemon away from completing the regional Dex with only 2 badges. But the rest of the game is pretty much a cakewalk, since I'm able to fight Maylene, Crasher Wake, and Fantina all in a row without a single additional Pokemon. There's not too many games with that big of a jump in badges, but Sinnoh is just one of those games. With those 3 badges in tow, I'm able to use Surf and Fly outside of battle, but that really only gives me 5 new Pokemon for this section, or 7 if you're playing Pearl. The first of those is Tentacool over on Route 218, the one west of Jubilife City while surfing. Lamia's also here in Pearl version, but with Tentacle Boy here, I'm able to use a single rare candy to evolve it into Tentacruel, letting me get into Canalave City where everything else is on Iron Island. The only catchable Pokemon in this area is Steelix, however once everything's done with Riley and Team Galactic, I'm able to receive an egg for Riolu. Now, this is where all that extra money with the VS Seeker comes in. See, back in Backlot's mansion as I was catching those Pikachus, I made sure to grab the Soothe Bell, and now, while Riolu's holding it, I can buy as many vitamins as Riolu can drink thanks to the extra money that I got from the VS Seeker. And sure enough, after switch training it on literally one trainer in the gym, it evolved into Lucario at level 10 with max happiness during the daytime, leaving just me and Byron with a time of 76 hours and 57 minutes. Barely over an hour thanks to those vitamin strats. Like I said before, the rest of the game is a cakewalk and this section is no different, since we only have 4 Pokemon to capture and 2 to grind. Once I wrapped up the talking session in the library, I headed back over to Route 206 to go underneath the cycling road and into the hidden passageway of the Wayward Cave, where Gible awaits in the basement levels. Yep, I still prefer the beta design, and fun fact, one of my commenters in the last video said that it had the same name as the final design, meaning they really were revising designs right up until the end of development. Insanity to be sure, but not as much insanity as a level 48 evolution. This is actually one of the reasons I left the trainers on some of the routes, since I wanted to train Gible on those to get a good chunk of early levels on it before taking out the Team Galactic admins, evolving it into Gabite at level 24. After wiping off the goons from Lake Valor and Verity, it's time to head up onto Lake Acuity near Snow Point. Unfortunately though, I won't be getting there anytime soon, since it's time to go Feebas hunting. Yes, the completely bullshit fish is back to kick my bum into submission. Fortunately though, I was able to outsmart it this time. Safe's coming for it, since I forgot to do so in the Ruby and Sapphire POC for some reason. Since once I found the tile was on, I reset the game, went straight to it, and got it with minimal wasted in-game time. It still nearly took 2 hours to find a tile, but hey, that's Feebas hunting in a nutshell. Glad they make it a lot easier in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'll be evolving it later, but for now it's snow time. There's a crapload of trainers on routes 216 and 217, though I'm able to capture Snover and Sneasel before finally moving on to Snow Point City. I took out the trainers in the Snow Point gym, then decided on the best trainer to use the VS Seeker on for the section. That person happened to be Ace Trainer Dalton on Route 217, who had a level 34 Raichu, level 36 Pelipper, and level 38 Hippopotas. This easily allowed me to evolve Feebas into Milotic in one level after maxing out its beauty stat by giving it Poffins. It's why I grabbed as many Orin and Chesto berries from around the region as possible, having just enough to do so. This trainer was also great for my level 40 plus evolutions, especially after having gathered all 10 currently available rare candies, and on top of the 5 that I had gotten earlier from Ambibomb's pickup, I used them to finish both Snover and Gabite off to evolve them into Abomasnow at level 40 and Garchomp at level 48 respectively, leaving me with just the gym with a total of 123 Pokemon and a time of 81 hours and 49 minutes. Not bad. With Candace's destruction, I'm pulled by the scruff of my neck by the game to take care of Team Galactic, taking care of everyone with my high-level Garchomp and Drapion, eventually taking out both Cyrus and Saturn before grabbing a rare candy on Route 213 thanks to Rock Climb. We will need this for this section, trust me. With that, I'm able to take the rest of Team Galactic out, finally facing down with Dialga. Dialga's not a big deal to catch even with its low catch rate, though it was definitely on the higher side of needed Pokeballs to capture, taking around 20 Ultra Balls before finally staying in and allowing me to progress. I figured I may as well take out the remainder of the legendaries of the section as well, those being the Lake Guardians. First things first though, I activated Mesprit, taking about 5 minutes to grab the tracker app from the Poketch Company in Jubilife City, and using both Route 214 and Valor Lakefront to go back and forth, eventually grabbing it with the Master Ball I got from the Galactic Headquarters. I love when roamers only take 5 minutes. 2 more to go! Both Azelf and Uxie from Lake Valor and Acuity respectively took only around 20 Ultra Balls each, leaving only just 2 more Pokemon for the section. I headed east over to Route 222 and eventually into Sunnyshore City after avoiding all but one trainer, getting told by Flint to get Faulkner back from his depression. I did so, but left him hanging as I went to get Mantike from Route 223. Remember earlier in the video where I grabbed 2 Remoraid's and the 1 rare candy? Yeah, that's why. 1 rare candy later and I'm able to evolve it into Mantine. Perfect! I've got 129 Pokemon and the most you can have with only 7 badges, leaving only 2 more sections. One of those sections? Yeah, it only has 1 Pokemon, since now I have the ability to use Waterfall outside of battle. I'm able to get the Razor Claw from Victory Road, giving it to Sneasel, and during the night, I'm able to switch train it on Barry's team right before the league, evolving it into Weavile, leaving just me and 5 trainers before the big old post-game. I don't have super strong, powerful Pokemon, and since the Diamond and Pearl League is pretty hard, I actually had a little bit of a struggle, but a pseudo-legendary and a bunch of legendaries are plenty enough to get me through, defeating Aaron, Bertha, Flint, Lucian, and Cynthia, leading me to the postgame. Man, we're already at the postgame? I feel like we haven't even done that much so far. Well, guess what, me? You're in for a treat, since we're about to literally triple the amount of Pokemon we've caught so far. Oh god, what have I done? The remaining Pokemon that I haven't captured were all seen from trainer battles, as well as from Cynthia's grandmother showing me an image of the other box legendary. With all 150 Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex seen, I'm able to go to Professor Rowan to get both the National Dex and Poké Radar, so now it's time to blast out the last chunk of the challenge. One of the first things I did was travel back to the old chateau at night, encountering Rotom and capturing it pretty quickly with a few Ultra Balls. Not too shabby. Next up is Hearthome City again, where I'm able to get a gift Eevee from Bebe in the house next to the Pokemon Center. I decided not to reset for a female to breed, since I'll be getting Ditto later on anyway, and just batch breeding everything. I left it in my party though, so I could get the happiness up, giving it the Soothe Bell while going on the last few legendaries available. Cresselia is next on our list, activating the roaming legendary after taking a boat from Canalave City and using the Haunter I got from trading the Medicham in Snowpoint City, because actually that was the best thing I could do because I didn't feel like leveling up my own. So here I can use it to outspeed, never mind I can't outspeed the Cresselia. Well, I figure I may as well just swap to Quick Balls, and holy moly I got it in the first Quick Ball. I'm very happy to see that, but there's bound to be a lot of Pokemon that doesn't happen with. The next legendary on my list is Giratina, the cover legend for Pokemon Platinum. It may not have its origin form, and it may not be a crazy abomination like in the beta, but it is a very powerful Pokemon, taking 2 resets and about 20 Ultra Balls on the 3rd attempt before I could capture it. I can't get the last legendary of the section just yet, so I may as well take care of the new areas that are available to me. In Victory Road, there's actually a pathway that allows me to go to a new route, but this also requires me to team up with Marley. After getting her out of my hair, I'm able to head back in and surf to find Lapras, but the real attraction is Route 224, where I'm able to get myself a Weepin' Bell and 2 Glooms for later. With those out of the way, I'm able to take the ferry from Snowpoint to the post-game fight area, which happens to be the home of the Super Rod, And it's fishin' time, and fish we shall, grabbing Glyph Disc from the Pokemon League, Clamperl from Route 219, Chinchou from Route 220, Staryu from Canalave City, Quillfish from Iron Island, Shelder from Route 205, Carvana from the Great Marsh, Corphish from Celestic Town, Dratini from Mount Coronet's Waterfall Room, and Whalmer from Route 223. Back to the fight area, and Route 225 to the north is my next objective, where I am able to capture Fearow, Rattata, Raticate, and Spearow, as well as Bayonet during the night, though there's also Poliwag here by using the Good Rod, and Poliwhirl by using the Super Rod. Route 226 is next, where I need to capture both Horsea with the Good Rod, as well as Seadra and Relicanth with the Super Rod. Last thing new on this route is Seal while surfing, though you can get Spheal in Pearl instead. You don't know how many times I had to say that line to get that right. Seal, Spheal, Surf, too many S's. Only a few more areas to go, one of which is Route 228, a route covered in a sandstorm where I'm able to get myself a Diglett, Dugtrio, Cacturne, Rhydon, and Cacnea, as well as Route 229, where I am able to get Bellsprout, Ariados during the night, Illumise, Lydian during the day, Volbeat, Oddish, and Scyther in Diamond, though in Pearl you get Pinsir. Route 227 is our last numbered route with new Pokemon, having Camerupt, Skarmory, Numel, Weezing, and Rhyhorn. Awesome! The only area left is Stark Mountain, where I'm able to get a Magcargo and Slugma, and after revisiting the area without Buck, I'm able to get to the back of the cave to encounter Heatran, the last legendary for the section. It's powerful, but I managed to get it within about 15 Ultra Balls. All the legendaries at least gave me a hardish time with the exception of Cresselia. That's kinda surprising, but we take it I suppose. With all of those though, there's only the Swarm encounters, the Poke Radar, Trophy Garden, and Great Marsh encounters. So, the Swarms are actually able to be manipulated by clock changes, since if I can set the clock to 11:59 and scroll forward, I'm able to get a new Pokemon every day, leading me capturing Cubone on Route 203, Surskit in Lake Verity, Pidgey on Route 229, Phanpy on Route 207, Delibird on Route 216, Snubbull on Route 209, Absol on Route 213, Zigzagoon on Route 202, Nosepass on Route 206, Krabby on Route 226, Smoochum in Lake Acuity, Doduo on Route 201, Dunsparce on Route 208, Slackoth in the Eterna Forest, Swinub on Route 217, Farfetch'd on Route 221, Spoink on Route 214, Natu on Route 224, Beldum on Route 228, Electrike near the Valley Windworks, Voltorb on Route 218, Drowsy on Route 215, Skitty on Route 222, Lickitung in Lake Valor, Spinda on Route 227, Makihita on Route 225, Magnemite near the Fuego Ironworks, and Corsola on Route 230. Wowie, that's a lot. But the Poke Radar is even more nuts. With that, I can find Nidoran male and female on Route 201, Wobbuffet in Lake Verity, Sentret on Route 202, two Ralts, one of which being male on Route 203, Sunkern on Route 204, Hoppip on Route 205 South, Mareep near the Valley Windworks, Nincada in the Eterna Forest, Baltoy on Route 206, Larvitar on Route 207, or Stantler in Pearl, Kecleon on Route 210 North, or Bagon in Pearl, Tauros and Miltank on Route 210 South, Swablu on the east side of Route 211, and 3 Tyrogue on the west, Smeargle on the north side of Route 212, and Grimer in the south, Swellow on Route 213, Mightyena on Route 214, or Houndoom in Pearl, Loudred in the external snowy area of Route Coronet, 2 Snorunt, one of which being female on Route 216, Ditto on Route 218, Duskull on Route 224, Mankey on Route 225, Torkoal on Route 227, Trapinch on Route 228, Venonat on Route 229, Togepi on Route 230, and Aron in the Fuego Ironworks. There's one Pearl exclusive on a route that I don't need to go to, that being Slowpoke on Route 205, but we've got enough Pokemon already to level up and breed as it is. Speaking of breeding, I went ahead and bred for my additional 6 Eevees, putting one of them in my party and breeding Banette to get Shuppet, Weezing to get Coughing, Ledian to get Ledyba, Ariados to get Spinarak, Swellow to get Tailo, Loudred to get Whismur, Mightyena to get Poochyena, and Wobbuffet while holding the Lax Incense to get Wynot. I also tested the method that works for swarms with Trophy Garden and Great Marsh Pokemon whilst looking for said swarms, and sure enough, it worked, netting me Jigglypuff, Porygon, Plusle, Minun, Castform, Meowth, and Bonsly, or Mime Jr. if you're playing Pearl, from the Trophy Garden, breeding Jigglypuff to get Igglybuff afterwards. And from the Great Marsh, I'm able to grab Paris, Shroomish, Execute, Kangaskhan, Yanma, and Gulpin. Last thing on the long list of things to do in the post-game before all the grinding is to go digging in the underground again. This time for some evolution stones we'll need for this section, as well as 5, count them, 5 new fossils to add to our inventory. Those being the Old Amber, Claw Fossil, Helix Fossil, Dome Fossil, and Root Fossil. It didn't take me too long to find these. Good thing I enjoy the underground in these games, though I did have to make sure I got 4 Water Stones, 3 Leaf Stones, a Fire Stone, a Thunder Stone, a Sunstone, 4 Moon Stones, a Shiny Stone, and a Dawn Stone. Luckily, I already had the Fire, Sun, and Shiny Stones from previous sections, so I only had to dig for the rest of them as well as the fossils. With all of that out of the way, I can revive the fossils to get Aerodactyl, Ammonite, Kabuto, Leap, and Anorith, and Lord have mercy, it's grinding time, and grind we shall. After we get these stone evolutions out of the way, those being Eevee into Flareon with the Fire Stone, Eevee into Vaporeon with the Water Stone, Eevee into Jolteon with the Thunder Stone, Skitty into Delcatty with a Moonstone, Jigglypuff into Wigglytuff with a Moonstone, Sunkern into Sunflora with the Sunstone, Female Snorunt into Frostlass with the Dawnstone, Execute into Executor with a Leaf Stone, Gloom into Vileplume with a Leaf Stone, Weepinbell into Victory Bell with a Leaf Stone, Bloom into Blossom with a Sunstone, Staryu into Starmie with a Water Stone, Shelter into Cloyster with a Water Stone, and Poliwhirl into Poliwrath with a Water Stone. Alright, grinding time. All in one take. Ready? Go! Pidgey into Pidgeotto at level 18, and into Pidgeot at level 36, Magnemite into Magneton at level 30, Doduo into Dodrio at level 31, Drowsy into Hypno at level 26, Krabby into Kingler at level 28, Voltorb into Electrode at level 30, Cubone into Marowak at level 28, Lickitung into Lickilicky while knowing Rollout, Natu into Xatu at level 25, Snubbull into Granbull at level 23, Swinub into Piloswine at level 33, and into Mamoswine while knowing Ancient Power, Phanpy into Donphan at level 25, Smoochum into Jinx at level 30, Zigzagoon into Linoon at level 20, Surskit into Masquerain at level 22, Slackoth into Vikoroth at level 18, and into Slacking at level 36, Makihita into Hariyama at level 24, Electrike into Manectric at level 26, Spoink into Grumpig at level 32, Beldum into Metang at level 20, and into Metagross at level 45, Nidoran Female into Nidorina at level 16, and into Nidoqueen with a Moonstone, Nidoran Male into Nidorino at level 16, and into Nidoking with a Moonstone, Sentret into Furret at level 15, Ralts into Kirlia at level 20, and into Gardevoir at level 30, and the other male Kirlia into Gallade with the Dawnstone, Hoppip into Skiploom at level 18, and into Jumpluff at level 27, Baltoy into Claydol at level 36, Larvitar into Pupitar at level 30, and into Tyranitar at level 55, Swablu into Altaria at level 35, Tyrogue into Hitmonlee at level 20 with higher defense, Tyrogue into Hitmonchan at level 20 with higher attack, Tyrogue into Hitmontop with level 20 with equal attack and defense, Grimer into Muck at level 38, Snorunt into Glalie at level 42, Duskull into Dusclops at level 37, Mankey into Primeape at level 28, Trapinch into Vibrava at level 35 and into Flygon at level 45, Venonat into Venomoth at level 31, Togepi into Togetic with max happiness and into Togekiss with a shiny stone, Nincada into Ninjask at level 20 and splitting off into Shedinja with a Pokeball in your inventory, Aron into Lairon at level 32 and into Aggron at level 42, Loudred into Exploud at level 40, Mareep into Flaffy at level 15 and into Ampharos at level 30, Meowth into Persian at level 28, Bonsly into Sudowoodo while knowing Mimic and leveling up, Paris into Parasect at level 24, Shroomish into Breloom at level 23, Gulpin into Swalot at level 26, Yanma into Yanmega while knowing Ancient Power and leveling up, Ammonite into Amistar at level 40, Kabuto into Kabutops at level 40, Anorith into Armaldo at level 40, Lilip into Cradilly at level 40, Shinshu into Lantern at level 27, Carvana into Sharpedo at level 30, Corphish into Crawdaunt at level 30, Dratini into Dragonair at level 30 and into Dragonite at level 55, Wailmer into Wailorn at level 40, Eevee into Umbreon with max happiness during the night, Eevee into Espeon with max happiness during the day, and Seal into Dugong at level 34. That was a lot. I trained literally all of these guys while pulling of them 5 at a time through the Elite Four and Champion while using Giratina as my main attacker, giving all of them the EXP share and switch training so they'd get 75% EXP, rather than the normal 50% from either methods used by themselves. However, I couldn't evolve everything, since the last 4 evolutions for the entire game are location dependent, those being Magneton into Magnezone by leveling up in Mount Coronet, same with Nosepass into Probopass, Eevee into Leafeon by leveling up next to the Moss Rock in Eterna Forest, and last but not least, Eevee into Glaceon by leveling up next to the Icy Rock on Route 217. And with that, finally, we have every obtainable Pokemon in a single copy of Pokemon Diamond, with a total of 357 Pokemon and a time of 118 hours and 54 minutes. Not bad, a sub 120 hour run, just about as fast as the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire run, and with just over 70% of the decks completed. Of course, I'm still missing the other Sinnoh starters, as well as all of the rest of the regions, version exclusives, GBA insert Pokemon, trade evolutions, Pokemon that require connecting to other games like Spiritomb and Manaphy, and then just a bunch of legendaries. Oddly enough, Tangela, Tangrowth, and Tropius are completely unobtainable, which they managed to fix in Platinum. But with that, that's the Professor Oak's challenge in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, finally finishing off Generation 4. I actually only have 7 challenges left, those being Green version, Gold and Silver, Crystal version, Black 2, White 2, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sword and Shield. And I'm hoping to finish them by the end of the year, but chances are I'll probably be left with like 1 or 2. 1 if I'm very diligent with my work for the next 5 months, but we'll see. Either way, I'm working on the Black 2, White 2 challenge over on Twitch. I have Sun and Moon about 60% done, Crystal has been sitting about 60% done for a while now, and Green version is a sub goal over on Twitch, so if you guys want to see Green version, be sure to go subscribe over there. It's $4.99 a month. But with that, either way, next week will be another Pokemon ROM hack challenge, as I'll be taking on Pokemon Renegade Platinum with only Steel-type Pokemon. I've always been a fan of Steel-types, but I've never used them in-game, not even once, so I'm looking forward to it. See you guys then. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, consider clicking on another video of mine. You'll probably enjoy it too. And if you really enjoyed the content and want to help support me, there's a few ways you can do so. You can do free ways such as following me on Twitter and Twitch, or you can become a patron, YouTube channel member, or Twitch subscriber, giving you access to videos a day in advance, and an exclusive chat in the Discord server where I talk about the juicy YouTuber details that I don't with anybody else. Either way, stay safe, stay healthy, have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care.